Welcome back here to the Crash Out League TV. It's your host A Dub, but I'm with my partner in crime, Manny boy. And man, what I tell you, man, it's another weekend in the Crash Out League. We got nothing but reports for y'all to let you know what's been going on in the league, what's coming up, how these trades in the NFL is affecting us here in fantasy. It's a lot to dive into. So you know what? I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna pass it on to Maddie. Let's go ahead and get it started.
Yeah, like you talked about, a lot to go, but nonetheless, let's go ahead and see what happened here in the Crash Out League. So we always do our games of the week, and now the game that ended up really becoming game of the week, there's a couple that you could choose from, but I would say game of the week ended up being between Smooth Criminal, who we had on last week, very scary interview, and Team Fabo.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
really did come down to the wire, 113, 110. Unfortunately, Dak Prescott not having the game that Smooth Criminal needed. A couple other, little pieces didn't fall there. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. So that right there has got to be my game of the week. Came down to the wire. And you know what? These two teams starting to try to make their own playoff push. And right now is the time to do it. So Team Fable getting the win on that one. Hey, Dub, what about you, man? Looking at the list, who do you got as really one of those games that came down to it?
Another game that really came down to it, where it went tit for tat, bang for bang, buck for buck, put up and ran up the numbers. I'm gonna go with
Hmm.
Team Luck versus God Bless Comerica.
Yep.
Now, when you look at this score, it's dramatically different from the Smooth Criminal and the Team Fabo. It was a
Right.
very low scoring game, but as you can see here, high scoring, high stakes, high rewards, and low loss right here. You
Yeah.
got 165 by Team Luck and 142 by God Bless Comerica. Both of these coaches had a hell of a week here in fantasy, and if they playing anybody else, mostly they're winning. But unfortunately, it comes down to only one side getting the win and the other side getting a loss. So shout out to Coach Luck over there, Team Luck, getting the dub this week, handling by going ahead and putting in Jordan Love, who was struggling
Woo.
early on, but he decided to put his faith in him this week, and it got him 25 points for him.
It works
Then he
for him.
had
There
Chris
you go.
Godwin, wide receiver 2 for the Buccaneers, that stepped up to the plate and gave him the extra that he needed by giving him 35 points that sealed the deal for him to go and beat God Bless America in his 142.
Yeah, hey man, like you talk about, Mike really can't hang your head too much on this one, right? I mean, you would have beaten everybody except two other people or one other person,
Mm-hmm.
in the league besides Team Luck. So, you just gotta. We talk about it all the time, right, Doug? Wearing on the chin. Move on to the next one,
Mm-hmm.
man.
Move on to
That's
the
just
next
kind of
one.
how it goes. So, but now, kind of interesting. Coach Mike on a 2-game skid. So, so
That
we'll
is.
we'll see. And now, so we almost had the most shocking upset of the week.
Mm-hmm. Talk to me.
DMV Bombers almost pulled it out. Almost pulled it out.
Almost.
93 to 108. I don't know. Shake and Bake still not beating the gets low scoring allegations. That
It's
he's not beating them just quite yet.
it just actually amazes me how week in and week out we show up in his studio to give you guys this show, and every time we go and look at the previous week, Team Shake and Bake seems to just magically, mysteriously come out with a low scoring weak win. Like, it doesn't matter who's he's playing. Like, I understand if you've been watching Team DMV Bombers only put up past 100 points one time in
Yeah.
6 weeks. But if you go and see previous weeks against teams like Team Luck, teams like Mo City Menace, who always put up 120 and more, all of a sudden when they play a Team Shake and Bake, it's a 100-point game. It's 110 to 100. It's 102 to 89. Some
Yep.
way, somehow, it's like I know
He
it's
just
fantasy, Manny, but call me crazy. It's like Team Shake and Bake somehow figure out how to play defense in fucking fantasy. I know you can't play defense and hold nobody under no points. It depends on your players and what they do that week. But I don't know. After 6 weeks of seeing this constant type of development, no matter who's he's playing, some way somehow he's playing defense. That's the only way I can accept this.
that's the only way that I could think about it, Dub. But the true upset of the week for me, and actually we'll have them a little bit later on. And I know sometimes you can't really call it what it is, but I am going to call this a bit of an upset because it was number 5 going against number 4.
Mm-hmm.
Coach Cam getting the win over Coach J Gibb. And really, that ties us in perfectly when we talk about our crash out of the week.
Mm-hmm.
It is Coach J Gibb. It was this was
Most
a
definitely. This was
bad
terrible.
performance. Now
This was not good.
we did talk about he had a lot of players out due to the bye week, and so heavy hitters just not there. And I mean, he tried to make some moves, tried to wiggle around it, but I mean, it was unfortunately inevitable. 75.82 points didn't live up to the matchup that we thought it was going to be. And yeah, Jay Gibb, you have earned, sir, the
Earn.
title of crash out of the week.
Earn. But you know
Earned
what?
that one.
I do want to say this when it comes to this crash out of the week. I want to announce two things specifically.
Okay, go
Yes,
for
it is Coach Jay Gilman, his 75 point. But to get specific, one for his team, DK Metcalf. You had 11 targets. 11 targets. Now, don't get me wrong. I
it. Yeah.
love the 49ers defense.
Mm-hmm.
I love what they do. They play as a team. They work together. They get in the right position at the right time to make the play. But call me out, Manny, if I'm wrong. I don't know a specific defensive back who's up there like Pat Surtain, Jair Alexander, that just put a player like DK Metcalf in a box to the point where
Right.
out of 11 targets, you only catch 3.
Right.
So I'm gonna name him specifically for Coach Jay Gill. I know he had a lot of other issues that went on this week, but that type of play where you get 11 targets and you only catch 3,
Right.
even if Coach Jay Gill was able to put up points, that's the type of player that holds you back. Now,
Yeah.
another specific thing that I want to mention, for my crash out for the week, outside of fantasy, the
Mm.
Dallas Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
Just the
Mm-hmm.
Dallas Cowboys in general.
Yep.
Nine
Yep.
points.
Yep.
9 points. I'm going to quote Stephen A. Smith like he said on his show after. The Lions had 9 scoring drives themselves. And the Dallas Cowboys was only put up 9 points. You couldn't score? That's what you telling me? You couldn't score? So you know what? They earned the title of crash out for this week for me.
Yeah. Bad week for the boys, definitely. I mean,
Terrible.
and then not. I mean,
Garbage.
it's just kind of
Not good.
you're putting insult to injury and you're putting salt on the wound when you think about what happens today in terms of thinking that he has that whole kind of fallen out an argument basically on live radio
Mm-hmm.
with the guys who host the Dallas Cowboy radio show, and he goes on there voluntarily every week. He does this. It's not part of a contract or nothing. He goes on every week and does this show. And when they ask him, "Hey, why didn't we make any moves in the offseason to avoid games like this?" he threatens to fire him, and then you
Wow.
have he threatens to fire him, says that I'll find somebody else to ask me these questions because your job is not to go over everything that I've done wrong, right? Again. And you know what, A-Dub? I will quote Stephen A. Smith's running partner. Shay
Mm-hmm.
Shay, Uncle Shannon, Unc, we
Mm-hmm.
appreciate what you're doing out there.
Big
When
on.
when Shannon Sharp says that Jerry Jones wants all the credit,
Mm.
he truly means it, and he's truly correct in that sense. Because he does.
Mm.
Shannon Sharp is right when he says Jerry Jones wants all the credit. If you told Jerry Jones, Jerry, you sir win a Super Bowl next year with the same squad that you have right now, but you are middle of the pack, maybe 12th in jersey sales. You're not consistently breaking TV records. You don't have like a national game on Thanksgiving. A, B, C, and D. And you know what? Your team still remains the most valuable franchise in all sports, but you don't get any much more valuable. Would he sign that contract? Would he say yes? No, I don't believe so. Jerry Jones wouldn't take that deal anytime. He would rather win it the way he wants to, where it's everybody saying, wow, look at Jerry Jones. And that's just not how this
Preach.
goes. And then
Preach.
you want to talk about going off seasons and not making any moves. You lose Derrick Henry, which would have been a $6 million cap hit. When you're paying Trey Lance $5 million guaranteed this year
Mm-hmm.
for your third string quarterback when you knew you didn't have a backfield, and then on the other side you realize, hey, CeeDee Lamb is our only person that is viable to use his hands to catch a football. Why don't we
Mm.
get him some help? Oh,
Mm.
Devontae Adams is free. We could try to go get him.
Mm.
No, Devontae Adams is going to
Mm.
go to the Jets. We'll talk about that later. And then, hey, well, you know what? We gave him away for a bag of rice and some beans earlier.
Come
Let's
on
get
now.
him back
Talk
for
to him.
maybe something of the same. Amari Cooper with the nasty man out in Cleveland. Let's see if we
Mm.
can go get him back. No, he's going to go to the
Nope.
Bills and help Josh Allen get probably into an AFC championship game at the
Yes,
end of
sir.
things,
Yes, indeed.
whereas the Cowboys haven't been to a conference title game in count them how many years. So, yes, it is a bad week to be a Cowboys fan, but thankfully they don't play this week. So we'll see happiness probably ring through the streets of Texas. But outside of that, man, it is a difficult time. So two crash outs, one to Dallas Cowboys and the other Jay Gibb. But his Vikings doing a pretty good job so far in the season. Nonetheless, though,
So,
we go ahead and let's take a look at some power rankings after what was a big time week here in the Crash Out League. So, you see it there? A new man at the top. Team Luck
yes, sir.
has
Yes,
himself a
sir.
4-2 record, but it is not alone at the top. Mills Mafia played 2 good weeks, played 2 bad weeks. We were trying to
Mm-hmm.
see where he was going to bounce back. 149.7, give him 150 this week. Big time answer. Also sits at 4-2. And God bless America. Had to take 2 punches on the chin. But he still stays at 4-2. Right in striking distance of staying at the top spot. But what do we talk about all the time, A-Dub? Points. Your points is
Mm.
so important. And Team Luck's been in some big time battles with a
Big
lot
time.
of points
Big
this season.
time.
So 781, almost hitting 800 points. That's why he's at the top. And then
Yep.
Mills Mafia, 769. And God Bless America, 747. So big shout out to those top three. The reigning champ trying to come back for his seat once again, but Team Luck holding a firm grasp in terms of points per game and points for. That's a big time one. Team Fuck'em jumps up to 4, was sitting at 5, but now at 4. Shake and bake again, going up. Wins or wins. You know, that it's the name of the game. Wins or wins. Team Fabo, 755 at 6. Run it back. Took a loss this week. Crash out of the week, sitting at 7. Mo City Menace at 8. And we have Smooth Criminal at 9. And of course, Team DMV Bombers sitting at 10. Once again, it's not playoff time, but you certainly
Mm-hmm.
want to start stringing some wins together so that when we get into playoff time, you're in striking distance to get yourself into that final seeds. And again, 1 through 4, guys, you cannot lay off because
Right.
if you just try to skate by, you're not going to find yourself in a very favorable position once playoff comes, and you might not even find yourself in the postseason. So, a lot of switching around, but man at the top, Team Luck, not alone though. 2 other guys right on his coattail.
You know, when you're taking a look at this, and you seeing the different numbers. You trying to understand it. We're here going into week 7, 1 week out from making it to the middle of the
Woo.
season,
Yeah.
5 weeks out from making it to the trade blocks situation. Then you
Mm-hmm.
got a couple more weeks after that until the playoffs. Don't panic.
Mm-mm.
The numbers are still there for you to make a playoff push and get in there. Just like Manny said, you people at the top, hey, don't start slouching.
Mm-mm.
Don't relax.
Nope.
Because just like Coach Mike being at the top, being undefeated, he took 2 losses in a row and it put him at 3 and only at 3 because he's putting up major points. You know what I mean? If he wasn't putting up major points, he could be looking at being at number 5 instead of shaking bait. So keep putting up those points, keep trying to get as many wins as you can, and try not to make as much mistakes as the people under you. Now, speaking on, a coach who doesn't make many mistakes, put up major numbers, arguably putting up the biggest points here in the league, we're going to go ahead and we're going to welcome in Coach Cam. Coach Cam, welcome into the show. Welcome to the show. We appreciate you taking out your time, coming in, and coming to talk to us, Coach.
Sir.
So, first off, we just want to go ahead and ask you, coming off a big time win last week, going in, playing, run it up, a coach who's a veteran in the league, and you ended up finding the right click for your team to deliver a
Stop.
dominant performance. Can you
I'm
speak on what
I'm
came
sorry,
across
coach.
for
I
that?
think I'm losing connection. Sorry, it's going in and out. I couldn't really hear you good.
What brought forth the dominant performance from last week?
Can you hear me, coach?
Yeah,
I'm sorry, connection.
all good.
Connection is bad connection, but I
Let me
would
see.
say
Let me see if I got him. Hey, Cam,
you
you
said
got me
what, Manny?
clearly here.
Give me a sec.
McDonald's Wi-Fi, man. That's so crazy. Look, he's outside the McDonald's right now. He's sitting outside. That's the outside. No, my bad. That's the Chick-fil-A. That's the Chick-fil-A. My bad. That's the Chick-fil-A exterior. That's my fault.
Oh my God.
Well, listen, hey, we
Oh.
will go ahead and try to get that interview later on if we can with Coach Cam. Hopefully, he was able to figure out maybe the shift leader can give him like the password or something. Get to like the locked one that's like a better 5G type matchup. But nonetheless, I really think we could talk about Coach Cam, you know, right now because in a sense, it's he is that rookie, coach, and
Mhm.
you can
Mhm.
easily say, "Ah, man, this dude's not gonna get it the first year. It's going to be a bit of a struggle. We'll see if he's able to really string together some wins and maybe sneak into the playoffs." But you're sitting at 4-2. You're in striking distance of the top spot. I mean, he is holding his own, and it's something to be very commendable for. And plain and simple, we talk about this all the time. He knows ball.
Hey,
That's what it comes down to. Coach Cam
hey,
knows ball.
hey. When you could put up 138 and your big time receiver Malik Neighbors didn't even play that week, come on now. You know ball. You know how to manage a team. You know how to put them in the right places to make the right plays at the right time in order for you to get a win in the week and put up major numbers. He's the type of coach that's been consistent all season long, putting up numbers, making sure that he's able to get the win and more than that, get a position to be a top, in the top 10 here in the
Yeah.
league.
Yeah.
So let's see if the McDonald's connection went away.
Let's see if it's back.
All right, am I good now?
Come
There he
on, Coach
is.
Cal,
There he
welcome
is.
back.
No, man, but we back at it. When you a winner, man, I'll try to throw you off
Come
the
on.
dome, man. But you gotta
Come
adapt. That's something
on.
that I'm learning. So
Come
we go
on.
keep adapting, baby.
Like that. I like that. Speaking of that, Coach, just like I was trying to ask you. You
Mm-hmm.
just came off a dominant performance with a veteran coach here in the league, Coach Jay Gill, who
Yeah.
knows how to get it done.
Mm-hmm.
You ended up going it up, putting up major numbers.
Mm-hmm.
We just trying to figure out, with your team clicking right now,
Mm-hmm.
what is the formula? What got you on this train that's so dominant?
Yeah, I would say, just taking notes from everybody in the league. Like you said, he was a vet coach. I'm a rookie coach, so I'm learning as much as possible. So as far as my team from last week, you saw we had a lot of people that had a bye week. We have starters that are out. So, like I said, we adapting, we making adjustments. So that was the
Mm,
thing. Going
mm.
ahead, making sure that we making the right changes when it's needed, not just waiting, not just letting stuff happen like, oh, my dude hurt. All right, it is what it is. Nah, we being aggressive with it. Me and my coaching staff, we make aggressive decisions, and sometimes it work out, sometimes it don't. And this week it worked out for us.
Coach, you know, when you came into this league, did you kind of have that thought in the back of your head, like, man, everybody thinks I'm a rookie, but I don't play like a rookie. I'm not gonna play like a rookie this year. I'm gonna have this chip on my shoulder, or was it, really, what was the thought to kind of hit the ground running?
That's funny you said that, man. I was just talking, me and my coaching staff was just talking about that. Um, I think it just goes back to the type of person that me and the type of people me and my coaching staff are. We always believe we're the best. A Dub can second that. He knows me personally.
Most
I
deaf.
don't I
Most
don't
deaf.
I don't think nobody is better than me. So when I got the opportunity to join this league, and I was talking to A Dub personally, and he was letting me know, like, hey, it's some dogs in here. Okay, but I'm a dog too. So what we gonna do? So what we gonna do? Tell me something.
Coach Cal, we love the energy. We love the energy that you bring it in right now. There's rumors going around in the league
Hmm.
saying just because of your dominant performance, you coming in, handling business early, not tiptoeing,
Hmm.
and you actually making moves that a veteran would make in a fantasy league,
Hmm.
that you're a front runner for rookie coach of the year. How do you feel about that? Does it matter to you? Are you thinking about that? Is that something you're trying to strive for? What's your thoughts?
How many rookie coaches are there, coach?
Right now, we got three rookie coaches up for the running.
Okay, me and who's the other two?
You got you, Coach Fabo, and you got Coach MB from Shake and Bake.
Okay. So to answer your question, I'm gonna leave that to them. Yes, I'm
Mm.
grateful. I'm grateful to be in a position, and I would be grateful if I win it. But I'm gonna let
Mm.
those two coaches focus on that. I think that's something that they're focusing on here. Like I said, me, and my coaching staff, we strive to be great. I'm not looking at rookie of the year. Nobody remember rookie of the year. I want that trophy at the end of the year.
Okay, okay. Real quick though. Are you
Absolutely.
saying that the based off the season going, you think that those coaches are worrying more about accolades instead of winning?
So I'm not gonna speak for those coaches. What I will say is
Okay,
that
okay.
with them being rookie coaches, I wouldn't be surprised if that's on their mind. You just told me that. That was
Mhm,
news to me. Rookie coach of the year wasn't even a thought in our head. Like I said, from day one,
mhm.
I also know Coach Justin personally. He won it last
Mhm.
year. I went to his house. We were chopping it up, and when I went over there, he got that trophy sitting in there real pretty. So I picked it up. I picked it up, and
Ooh.
I had a heart to heart talk with it. From that day, I knew
Okay,
I had to give me one of those. So,
okay.
Now, Coach, way earlier in the season, some comments were made about you before you even had a chance to give your side of the story. Coach Preach, over at Mo City Menace,
mhm,
said that if he had to choose somebody to be the punching bag of the league,
mhm.
he would have you. I want to know
Mm-mm-mm.
what your response was to your guys when that came out. Did you even let that noise kind of hit the locker room, or did you put it up as a poster right where everybody comes in? I mean, what was the thought there when you heard that?
So initially, when I heard it, I was very surprised because at
Mm.
that time I was sitting 2-0. He was sitting 0-2. So for somebody to
Talk to him.
so for somebody to come and make a comment like that to somebody who's sitting at the top of the league, it was very surprising to me. It just showed me like I don't think your head really in the game. You can't be focused for real. And I did say something to coach at that time, and we did end up playing. Granted, he did get the best of me that week, but overall, he's not a better coach than me. His players are not better than mine. He's overall beneath me. And in the standings, you can see that because as the weeks continue, I think he's sitting 2-4. He's actually tied for last place while I'm sitting up here in the playoff bracket. So I just let my game speak for itself, man.
Coach. Hey, they said that you always spoke the real, but
Oh yeah, I'm gonna keep
I'm
it.
feeling it. I'm feeling it right now here on the show.
I'm gonna keep
You
it
know what
real,
I mean?
coach.
So we appreciate that. Let's go ahead. Let's keep that same mindset.
Mhm.
So you're dominating right now. You're 4-2. You're doing things that people didn't expect you to do coming into the season. You on your way to going to the middle of the season, getting ready for the playoffs, and hopefully making a push forward. Are there any changes that you're looking into, or changes that you already made that you waiting to develop to help you going into the playoffs?
As far as changes overall, if I'm being honest, coach, adapting is key. So I'm always looking to change. I'm never
Mm-hmm.
content. It's
Mm-hmm.
always a better option out there. So, keeping
Right.
my eyes open, staying up to date on the news in the league, and I don't mean to throw a jab, but seeing what players I can steal from somebody like I did before.
Understandable. Oh, hold
Whoa,
on,
whoa,
wait. You
nah,
know
you
what?
good. Nah, that went over
You
your
want to
Let
head,
me.
expand
coach.
on that
That went over
comment,
your
Coach
You want
head.
Cam?
you want to
You want to
elaborate?
expand on that comment?
You want to elaborate for us? You know, we could move on. We could,
Nah, I'm gonna let that go over y'all
Let's
head, man. Whoever catch it, catch it.
let's
He go catch
let's let that be. Let's let that be, A-Dub. Now listen,
it.
Coach, a double header here for you as we look to kind of wrap this up.
it.
Looking ahead to next week's game,
Yes, sir.
right? Team Fabo is starting to play some good ball as well.
For sure.
So to you, right? How do you prep to make sure that you're able to continue
Mhm.
your own hot streak? And then, really, just to kind of ask you, what's the message to Team Fabo and the rest of the league right now?
Gotcha. So I'll go ahead and answer that first question. So when I'm prepping, obviously, like I said, my team, we have some pretty good players. So I want to focus on making sure I got my best players on the team. My best players on the field. I'm sorry. Now, just because that's the player who I'm playing this week, I might play a completely different player next week. It all just depends on who I'm playing against. So I'm looking at who he's potentially starting, and adjusting my starting team according to that. And me and my coaching staff, we have seen some errors in his lineup, and we have seen some places where we can take advantage, and that's what we plan to do. Now, as far as for him, the rest of the team, and specifically Preach, um, I'm a, I'm a
Come on,
ask y'all, I'm gonna ask y'all one question, and I'm gonna leave it at that. What's the name of my team?
Team Fuck 'em.
Team Buckle.
Straight like that. That's how I feel about it.
Well, y'all heard it here first, Coach Cal. He got no filter. He gonna let you know what's on his mind. He gonna speak. If you ask it, it's your fault. You know what I mean? He gonna let you know what's been heard. Appreciate you, Coach Cal, for showing up here on this show. We really appreciate you coming here and speaking your mind. And God damn it, we can't wait for you to come back on the show.
Definitely be back. Thank you guys for having me. Before I leave out, A-Dub, happy birthday, baby. You doing big things. I'm proud
Yes,
of you, man.
Appreciate it.
Yes,
Appreciate
sir.
it.
sir.
Yes,
Appreciate it.
sir.
Appreciate it.
You know,
Hey, man.
we could not go through this entire show without giving the claps, the love, the flowers to A-Dub. A very happy birthday, sir. A big
Appreciate it.
2-4
Appreciate it.
Kobe year. Getting into
Appreciate
it, man. So absolutely,
it.
man. Loves, flowers all the way. Out in Mickey Mouse land. Having a
Mickey
good old
Mouse Land.
time, man. You're making it happen out there, man. All the stuff
Yes, sir.
making this show happen. So all the flowers going to my co-host, my partner in crime here. But I mean, hey, what an interview, right? I don't think you
Come
can ask for a
on.
better interview. hey,
Bro, that might have
his
been the
message
best
is
one yet.
clear, and I personally think uh, Coach Barlow might have made a mistake letting him have a heart to heart with that Lombardi because
Oh,
it looks like he really wants that one. He's coming for it at all costs.
he wanted bad.
So hey, we'll see at the end of the season, and yeah, hey, we might we might have just talked to the eventual champ of the league this year, but hey, we'll
Hmm.
see how the league ends up shaking out. Now, as we go ahead and kind of turn to really looking at this next week's slate of games, right?
Hmm.
Again, I mean, hey, this stuff's coming up quick. We already got a game Thursday, 2 days away, so make sure your fantasy lineups are ready to go. Let's go ahead and break down the most anticipated matchups here of what I believe is to be week 7.
Yes, sir.
So a lot to think about, when you see here, right? Obviously, the first thing that kind of smacks you in the face, Coach Jay Gibb is due for another 70-point game. Now,
Hmm.
I'm sure lineup fixes would come around for that. Trying to figure that out. Yeah, Keenan Allen on a bye. The Cowboys on a bye this week, not playing this week. So certainly he'll get some players back and he'll lose a couple. So we'll see how he kind of adapts from that. Shake and bake, and God bless America. Now I'm actually gonna go with this one as my game of the week, Dub, because it really is the unstoppable force meets the immovable object. Real, I mean that's the biggest way that I see it here. The unstoppable force meets the immovable object. We talk about Shake and Bake seems to be able to essentially play defense. I don't know what he does,
Right.
but it petrifies the other team. They don't put up the same kind of points. And then Coach Mike is putting up 130s, 140s, 150s. So
Hmm.
I'm very interested in seeing how this one goes. Figuring out, hey, who's going to get the edge? Is it going to be Coach Mike continuing to play his style of ball, putting up a lot of points, and this one could be the blowout that Sleeper projects it to be? Or is it Shake and Bake, doing whatever hex he can on his opposing team and making it that he pulls out another win? I mean, both sit at 4-2. So when we talk about moving up and down, I mean, this is really where we see it, right? Because you want to stay right in that pack of sitting at top 3, top 4 to hopefully get into a higher seed when the playoffs comes. But I mean, this is where you make your money. These big time slugfest games. So we'll see about this one. But I have to go with Shake and Bake and Mike as my game of the week.
Okay. Okay. I love that pick right there. But I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go with Team Fuck'em and Team Fabo. Just
Got
after
to, got to, yep,
interview with Coach Cam, we gotta highlight the game that's
got
coming
to,
up. Gave us great energy, let us know what's on his mind, the detailing that he goes into every week to figure out who should be starting and who shouldn't be, to just go ahead and help him get a win. It's just it just makes you want to put it on the big screen. I'm not just talking about 65 inches. I'm talking about movie screen theater type game that you
yeah,
put on.
yeah.
Get you some popcorn with some friends. Everybody sit down, shut the fuck up, and let's just watch some ball. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
Plus,
yeah,
on the other end of Coach Cam, he's not playing no fluky. He's not playing somebody who doesn't know ball as well. Coach Fabian over there at Team Fabo has been putting up good numbers, big numbers, week in and week out, and got hot in the last 3 weeks, coming
yep,
up with some big time wins. So
yep,
both of these coaches starting to figure out their style of play, and we just got to sit there and watch and see whose style of play this week is better, coming
yeah,
from two rookie coaches that's dominating the league right now.
yeah. I mean, you talked about it. Team Fable started off a little slow. They took a little more time to get their footing under them, but once they did, I mean, they hit the ground running and they are 3-3 now, and again, they're out of that 4-2, you know, record, sure, but a win here gets them right back into the mix. So certainly, I think this one's going to be a good one too. I like that pick a lot. Now, here's here's where we kind of transition to upset alert, right? As we look through the rest of these games to try to figure out, okay, who might pull out an upset? And I've bet against this coach a couple times, but I'm gonna go with him this time. He scared me last week, but I'm gonna put that behind me.
Okay.
I'm gonna say Smooth Criminal pulls out a
Mm.
win over Mills Mafia. It's 96-108. That's what it looks like right now. So pretty close. And I think there's a few things that kind of jump out to me. One, again, the no kicker strategy is interesting, but we'll see if that gets switched out. More than likely, it will. But Patrick Mahomes hasn't necessarily had the huge numbers that we've seen, right?
Right.
But on the other side, the Buccaneers just put up, what was it, 54 points, and Mike Evans had 5. So, it's kind of a back and forth deal where it's kind of a season of frustration. In reality, it is. It's a season of frustration, trying to figure out who's going to get you that those extra points. But we'll see if Brees Hall gets the same amount of touches now that Adams is back into the game, and they might start airing that ball out a lot more, but that could mean he gets a lot more targets in the passing game. Montgomery is going to continue to be David Montgomery. And so, off of a big time game going against the Dallas Cowboys, now rolling into a division rivalry game. Yes, you're at Minnesota. So, we'll see what that happens there. So, again, back and forth. Can't really call a true winner as it stands right now. So I'm gonna go ahead and go Smooth Criminal takes the dub. A couple uh changes into the roster. I noticed that he has Brandon Aubrey. He's on a bye, so we're gonna have to work around that. And again, the no kicker strategy is interesting, but we'll see what happens there. But nonetheless, big time performance is gonna need it from Smooth Criminal. We'll see if he can get the win over the reigning champ.
Yeah, this matchup right here is it's interesting. Uh, just to get some insight of what's going on with these particular coaches right here. Both these coaches are previous champions from the past 2 seasons. Finally be able to meet up for the first time this season. And when they meet up, they got a lot of buys and injuries going on with their team right now, so they got to make a lot of moves. Now, when it comes to this kicker situation, as we've been seeing with Coach Barlow with his team, it's been a little wonky. He either played without one or picked up one that gave him negative points.
Right.
So there might be a good chance he goes no kicker this week, all because the bench space that he has of the players that he wants to keep.
Yeah.
He doesn't really have to move to drop somebody to pick up a kicker because he likes his bench.
Right.
Now, the same thing could be said by Smooth Criminal. The reason why he can't get no kicker is because, coach, Manny, look at it. His
Yeah.
whole bench, they're either injured or on bye weeks.
Yeah.
And quite frankly, what it looks like is he's betting the house right now. He's betting for the later season that when it comes to making a push for the playoffs, these players come back and he within reach enough to get a win once they're able to come back, but he's trying to hold out. Now, luckily, he's playing another coach who has a difficult situation with a kicker, so maybe it works out this week. So I'm also go with
Very
Smooth
interesting.
Criminal for my upset of the week.
Okay. Okay. We like it. We like it. We like it. So we'll go ahead and see what that looks like next week. And now let's go ahead, as we always do, transition into life outside of fantasy, the game that we love oh so very much. The NFL, we got some very nice slate of games. An honorable mention to the Chiefs and the 49ers going at it this week. But we got 3 games for you. Very exciting, very ready to go. Sunday, 12 p.m. Central, the Lions are taking on the Vikings, a divisional matchup in the NFC. Lions are playing some very good ball, but the Vikings been a very nice surprise, realistically. Sam Darnold having what could be comeback player of the year type of season. So, I mean, we'll really see kind of how this goes. Currently, I sit 9-6. A Dub sits 10-5. I mean, we've been picking some good games and we've been picking some good winners. So this one's a little tougher though, because again, when it comes to division rivalry games, you never know what's gonna happen, right? And I normally like to take the home team, but I think I'm taking the Lions in this one. I think they're going to continue to run the ball as effectively as they have. Dan Campbell seems to be the right man for the job, as we've known that he is. And Jared Goff, coming off from some really good performances, stringing them together. I think he continues here. I like the Lions in this.
Okay. I think I'm gonna go with the other side. I'm gonna go with the
Okay.
Vikings this week. I love defense. I'm gonna preach it every week, and I'm gonna remind y'all every week. And the defensive coordinator over there with the Vikings, time in and week out, has shown that he knows how to run the defense, make the right call in the right situations to confuse the quarterback in his reads. And it doesn't matter who he has played that has showed up and confused them. Brock Purdy, C.J. Stroud, it doesn't matter who they
Yeah.
line up
Yeah.
against. They're at the end of the game, the QBs admit that they have been confused, and I don't see no different that could happen to Jared Goff. Now, on the other end, when it comes to the Lions' defense, yes, they shut down Dak Prescott and the Cowboys, but they just lost Aiden Hutchinson,
Yeah,
the
it's a big
top
time
sack
loss.
leader
Yep.
in the NFL. Now, how much that affects them, I don't know, but I can't help but to think the top sacker going down for the rest of the season is not a big blow for them.
Right.
So, with the Vikings being hot right now and undefeated, I think it's a bad time for them to run into them. So, I'm gonna go with the Vikings coming off the bye week.
All right. All right. Now, this one's gonna kind of split you a little bit, Ada. We'll see. We'll see where we go here. But your H Town Texans
Huh?
going against the Packers.
Right, right.
With
Because I'm you. Oh, okay.
you from
Yeah.
Houston,
Right.
but you're a Packer fan.
Uh huh.
This is Sunday, also at 12.
Mm-hmm.
2 good games going on after each other. I feel like I know where you're, but go ahead. Go ahead. Give me your pick. You want to talk
I
about
know I'm from
defense all day
Houston.
long?
I know I'm from Houston. You know what I mean? And the answer should be no other than the Texans. But look here, when I fell in love with the game and I started watching NFL, the Texans sucked. They was garbage. It was
True.
heartbreaking
True.
season.
True.
I'm a winner.
Facts.
I am a winner. I like to win. I could at the time I was young, immature, so I did develop the mindset of sticking it out and wait for them to come up. You know how long it took, bro. I'm 24 years old, and the Texans just got good. I fell in love with the game when I was 7. You wanted me to wait that long for me to, you know what I'm saying, to appreciate my team? No. So I went with the Packers. It's a long story with that whole father son rivalry, Packers and Steelers rivalry and stuff
Ooh.
like that.
Yep.
So I ended up falling in love with the Packers and A Rod and what he did over there. So give me the cheesehead. Go Pack Go. We at home. Jay Alexander is back. Let's go ahead. Put these boys in the box. Put them in the blender. Send them home. Send them packing. And maybe give them a little slice of cheese on.
Coach Barlow not going to be too happy about that pick.
Give a damn. Don't give a damn. Don't do that. I'm gonna
I'm
be.
gonna
Hey.
I'm gonna take the Texans in this one. A couple reasons why. I understand Jair Alexander is definitely an elite player in that secondary,
Elite.
but the biggest problem is the Texans have a lot of weapons. I mean, there is a lot of choices for CJ Stroud to go for.
Mm-hmm.
Now, can this running game get established is the biggest question. And so we'll see what that happens. But if this becomes a passing game, I am not overly confident in the Packers pass rush to be able to trouble CJ Stroud enough to the point where it throws him off his game. I think the Texans take this one. And you want to talk about defense, the Texans have a very scary defense on the other side too. So I'm going to take the Texans in this one. Let's go ahead and keep it 50-50 so far in the session. So you got Packers, I got Texans, and now for our final one, we talked about this a little bit earlier. The big
Okay.
time development in the NFL today. Devontae Adams is headed to the Meadowlands to be part of the New York Jets and meet up
Jets, Jets.
to
One
meet
time,
up
shout out to the Jets fans.
with his old pal, very
I'm
old
talking
pal,
about old.
like
I'm talking
needs to,
about. Hey.
like, bro, tie the laces together, hang them up.
I'm worried. I'm worried he get hit a little bit too hard. It's over with. That's how old
Anyways,
that nigga is.
his old pal in Aaron Rodgers, and from all the reports we're hearing, he's gonna go. Like, there's gonna be
Yeah.
no waiting period. There's gonna be no transition. Nothing. He's gonna be wearing the green on Sunday. So that is Sunday at 7:20. And really, hey, these NFL scriptwriters couldn't have made it any better because the Jets are on prime time, and it's the first time Devontae Adams is here. And
Hey.
on the other side, they'll be taking on the Steelers in what is probably one of the toughest places to play because Steeler Nation is always going to show out when they're at home. But some drama kind of brewing on that side as well. Justin Fields might not get the start. They might end up going with Russell Wilson. It hasn't been the season of dreams so far for the Steelers in the way that they hope. They have a lot of players that they think they can win with. So an interesting matchup here to kind of see how this affects fantasy, because at the end of the day, sure, this is going to affect fantasy. So Jets, Steelers, Sunday night football. You can't make it any better. Oh man, this is one of those tough ones.
Mm-hmm.
But if we're gonna talk about it, I think there's just enough weapons on the Jet side with this addition of Devontae Adams to give them the edge. So I'm gonna take the Jets here. I'm gonna say the Jets pick up their first win under the new head coach, with Devontae Adams, all these other things going on. There's a lot of noise. I think this will be a big win for the Jets to kind of calm that noise against a Steelers team that just not yet quite ready to compete.
Yeah, like Manny was saying, there's a lot going on in this matchup. Like the NFL script writers, they got in a Duffy.
Yeah.
Like, if you was to argue me now if that was real or not, I kind of would listen to you. I might hear you out because who would have scheduled the Jets and Steelers on prime time, knowing
Nobody.
Devontae Adams was gonna be there and Russell Wilson was gonna show up. Like, come on, bro, you can only write this type of shit in books. You know what I'm saying? But to get back to the talks of the matchup with this much stuff going on, it could be an ugly game because both defenses are great. Jets defense is great. Steelers defense is great.
Yep.
So when you mixing in new people into the offense with a team that's already established on the other side of the ball, it could get quite ugly for you. You know what I mean? The
It can
time
be
is
real
not
difficult.
there.
Yeah.
You're not used to certain players and how they twitch and stuff like that. So it could get real ugly and you can make a mistake that the defense could capitalize on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So with that being said, I'm gonna go with the Jets as well, but this
Okay.
is why I think a wide receiver trying to figure it out with a quarterback that he already knows is a better situation than a QB on a new team who has not played one regular season game yet
Yeah.
with his team trying to figure it out. I
Right.
think it's just a better situation with the Jets. Yes, there's going to be hiccups, but it'll be less hiccups and less damage than I think what Russell Wilson can do in a live game, trying to get it to players that he hasn't thrown to in a live game. So
Yeah.
give me the Jets to get the win this week. Jets, 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 Jets. You know, as a Packers fan,
Are you a little
I
jealous?
wish
Are you a little?
I
Are
am.
you?
I
Yeah.
definitely
That's
am.
fair.
I 100
That's
percent
fair.
am.
Yeah.
I wish
Yeah.
it was us. I
Yeah.
love Jordan Love. You know what I mean? And I wouldn't replace him for the world. But if we could have made that reunion or kept them to where they was with us, shit. Shit. But you know what? Y'all go ahead, be great with the Jets, live it up, be dominant like we know that y'all can. That reunion on the Pat show that I saw, I damn near cried.
The
I
way he
damn
just
near
walked into
cried.
the screen, like, yo.
I said, man, look at the brother, look at the game back together, man. That shit just, it got the heart going. It got the heart going.
I mean, that's the thing. The Jets certainly want to win now. They think that they can. So they went out and got their guy, and so they figured
Mm-hmm.
they can do it. Now, let's see if you can put it together. Because again, you just went against the Bills on Monday Night Football, and it didn't seem like old Aaron Rodgers for one, and two, the Bills took advantage of every opportunity that they got,
Right.
and the Jets weren't able to. So
Mm-hmm.
now, I mean, I know there's 11 dudes on the field. You can't say that one's going to make the immediate impact and change everything, but when they have the connection that the way that they do, it
Mm-hmm.
very well could. But again, the rest of the Jets, they need to show up as well, and so it
Mm-hmm.
can't just be the Rodgers and Adams show, because your offensive line needs to be there every day, and the rest of your guys need to be there when eventually 3 guys are going to get on Devontae Adams because they know that they have that connection. So once again, we want to give a huge shout out to Coach Cam for being here today, giving his time, a wonderful, wonderful interview. And I can't say this enough, a very, very happy birthday to my partner in crime, my running mate here with me, A-Dub, doing this show here on Tuesdays with you whenever we get to record it. It's always wonderful, man. It's always jokes. It's always laughs. So we can't wait to get you back into the city, celebrate with you a little bit more, man. You know that you got a place waiting for you no matter where you are. But hey, much love, happy birthday. Send us out of here, man. Get us out of here, A-Dub.
Yeah, man, I appreciate that. That's love. That's love. Appreciate y'all for tuning in here. Another episode here in the Crash Ali TV. You know, we really appreciate y'all. Subscribe, like, comment, let us know what's going on. You know we got the clips coming. You know this video coming. You watching it right now. You know what I mean? So continue to show up weekly, you know what I mean? To at least if it's just entertainment for you, it's entertainment for you. That's what we here for, you know. So
Absolutely.
appreciate y'all once again. It's your boy A Dub, and I want my partner in crown Manny, and we gonna see y'all next week.